Hello and welcome to India Today. I'm Hesha and today I'm in conversation with Harman Baweja, a man who gave us a lot of scoop, but all for the good reasons. Hello Harman, welcome to India Today.
Thank you.
First of all, I have to say from then to now, this year, this is my third meeting with you.
Yeah.
And all the 3 times I've met you, you're looking different. This one being the best.
As long as I'm aging well, it's all good.
You're aging, no, you're looking beautifully, like wine you're aging, if I have to say.
Well, I think that's pushing it, but yeah.
So basically, you did work on your fitness in 2023, right?
I needed to. I think, whatever I did in Scoop, obviously the character was, someone who was going through what he was going through, sort of demanded that a little bit. But I think back to being normal. I've had a kid. I need to get fit for his sake now because he's going to be running around in the next few weeks. And I got to make sure I can run behind him rather than sit like one daddy and say, "Beta, come here."
I think the running around behind the kid already must have done this workout for you.
Already, I think my cardio is now based on my son rather than myself, but it's great. Yeah.
But Harman, I have to say this, and it goes without any. मतलब कोई से question नहीं कर सकता. What I want to say this is that 2023 with Scoop, you actually made a crazy back with the bang thing. People loved you, appreciated you, not just like ek do jan, but unanimously everybody was out there in your support and with your performance, of course. I want to ask you now that Scoop's done and dusted with, and we're moving into 2024. What kind of offers came to you as far as acting was concerned? A, and B. Have you finally arrived at a point where you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm at a position where I'm going to choose something that sort of aces what I've already shown that I can do with Scoop?
So nothing's come my way. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, wait.
So looking at me saying, "Yeah, jhoot bol raha hai."
I was like lying.
No. I mean, listen. Obviously, conversations are ongoing, But I mean, for me, it is. While I've really enjoyed, I firstly thank you for all the love on Scoop from you and from everyone else. But at the same time, for me, it's about picking whatever I'm doing next to make sure it, kind of lives up at least, because now, while I think everyone was very, how would I say it, honest and sweet and almost like, hey, okay, fine, he's done a reasonably decent comeback after so many years or more than a decade. So there's love, and I think that's used up. So now if I'm like, yeah, he's just about okay, it's like, nah. He doesn't live up to us. So I think the idea is to make sure I get something which is meaty enough. And so conversations are on, I'll be honest. But I mean, there's also Baweja Studios, which is my production house, and there's a lot happening on that end as well. So I need to kind of just figure out what I'm producing versus what I'm acting and kind of create a perfect balance. Yeah.
So do you feel like this Harman 2.0 is somebody who's actually going more with his intuition while picking stuff that's coming his way? Not as a producer, but also as an actor.
No, I think you nail it completely. I'm purely going by my, I would say, instinct, because, when you're starting out, there are too many preconceived notions in life. There's too much of, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, because this works, that works. And I think, as you kind of mature, and I think it's not just for the choice in films or what I'm producing, what I'm acting. In general in life, I think as you kind of get, older, if I may, you tend to become far more, I think, you kind of in tune with yourself. It's not for what the world may perceive or the world thinks. It's more about what makes you happy. So I think that evolution has come where, so I think it boils down to whether I want to step out in the evening or not, or to make the right choice in a film, So it varies in degree, but it's across the board now for me. Yeah.
Fab. For actresses specifically, what happens is pretty privilege becomes a thing. You do tend to get boxed because of the way you look. I feel that kind of happened with you initially when you started off because you're a good-looking man yourself. And that is important to be in an industry that we are in. But did you feel that at any given point in time back then, because of the way you looked, you only got offered roles which were probably just basis of that rather than what meaty stuff that you did in Scoop could have been also offered? Like, you could drop the good-looking cap and look that you're wearing and just be like, okay, you know what, take me as it is, raw.
It's so funny you say this, and without even remotely trying to sound arrogant, because I am a strong believer that your looks have nothing to do with you, right? Because I never constructed this face. It was given to me by my parents, and that genetic pool that's been coming down for centuries and generations. So really, your look is really not you; it's what you've been given. But I remember back in the day, there was a part which I was really keen to do, and it was the guy was from a very he was from a part of society. He really wanted to come up, and so I said, yeah, I can look the part. तो मैंने बड़े मतलब अपने बाल थोड़े kharab kiye. I try to really get into the character, really become that. The kind of, I was wearing not a fata shirt, but something along the lines. And I remember sending it out to the director, and he said, "Yeah, you look like you're a get out of bed Parisian model. So it's not working for me." I said, "No, beyond that, I can't do anything." So I guess, but I mean, listen, there are also more pros in life to look a certain way. So I'll, eventually this is what I've been dealt with in life, and I'm happy and absolutely no complaints. But yeah, I think now the way the world looks at it, you can play more characters. I can, don my grays on myself and play a part, and I, don't have to make sure that I'm looking prim and proper all the time. That's just the way I want to take my career forward. Yeah.
But you broke that shackle with Scoop. Like, Scoop was not necessarily requiring you to look like, the way you actually look in real life. It was a lot more different. And, So I think you did that with Scoop as well, which is why I'm saying that in a way, I feel people get boxed, but if you can break that norm, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you do have to get, some iota of luck. Something has to come your way. Definitely, Scoop definitely broke a large part of that for me, because I must tell you, I've met a lot of people who've known me for decades. Who met me right after Scoop, because I was still donning that typical look of mustache and thoda bada tha main. And honestly, they came and congratulated me, thinking I'm some newbie of an actor.
Charged
And then after a good 5 minutes of conversation, they're like, "Tu Harman hai?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Shit, I'm talking to some new guy who's done this show." I was like, "Dude, we've known each other for 20 years. And that actually didn't happen once. It happened so many times that after a point, I was like, first I was like, this friend of mine must not have slept the night before, must have had a rough day. But then I'm like, wait, I think everyone's kind of going through that. So that's great for an actor, right? If you can kind of mold yourself into something that your own peers, your own acquaintances are kind of taking doing a double take and saying, "Wait, tu tha," So I'm hoping I can achieve that again, but I mean, it's not a necessity. Let's not put more pressure on myself. I think let me just enjoy this.
Please, for sure.
Yeah.
Harman, what I also want to say is that as an actor or a producer, it's all about choices.
Right.
One that you make and one that you get offered, right? Huge part, especially as an actor, is concerned, when a film or a script is written for you, it's in the director's mind, who he wants to cast, goes to a casting director, and then particular role reaches you, right? I want to know, how have you cultivated this knowledge of movies through the years that you can sort of oscillate between, even acting and more so producing, because that's what you're racing?
Listen, I've been in this business almost now 22 years. So for me, this is, A, this is all I know. B, this is what I goddamn love a lot. And I've pretty much done everything. I've been an assistant director, I've been a production controller, I've been an assistant editor, I've been an operator, I've been an editor. Post, I mean, you name it, one is written, one is produced, thankfully one's acted again now. So I think for me, anything to do with cinema, it just gives me a kick. Like, you can wake me up at 4 a.m. And I'll be up and about and excited. Not a really early morning kind of guy. So when I say 4 a.m., it's like probably not sleep actually. That'd be easier. But yeah. So for me, I just love this, So yeah, very happy to be in this world in any way whatsoever. Now, as far as the choices are concerned, I think you have a little more edge when it comes to producing, because you can create what you want to create, which is why I produce, is to kind of put the stories, the kind of projects you want to put together, the kind of films you want to deliver, the shows you want to deliver. It's something that you produce, you create, you enjoy, As far as acting is concerned, it's more of what's coming your way. Because, so far I'm not acting anything, I'm producing, because I really want to keep them very, very isolated. So yeah, let's see what comes our way.
Harman, you always articulate your thoughts so well, even in your speech. Why do you not talk to us more often? You're not like a very camera or media friendly person, right?
No, I mean, I'm a friendly person. I don't want to say I'm not media friendly, that just sounds wrong, but yeah, I would. Yeah.
Are you more like introvertish or like an ambivert, basically?
I would rather chill at home than be outside. Like, I'm that kind of guy. Like, if everyone's like, "Chalo, let's like go to a place," and I would be like, "Kyun order kar lete na?" I'm that guy. We'll sit outside, we'll chill, we'll have a nice conversation. So for me, that actually is, this is far easier than standing on the red carpet and doing an interview with like 20 people staring at you. Because after a point, you forget that there's that man right there.
Yeah. You know, as a producer, I want to ask you this, especially 2023 was such a fabulous year for the film industry. Across, I feel it's not just, you know, theatrical releases, but then OTT, come on, we had Scoop, of course. And then so on and so forth. Pan-Indian films also did so well, where there was this whole blockage about ki post-COVID, everything is going to tank down. Right now, the flavor of the season is action.
Yeah.
I want to know, as a producer, how have you seen 2023 and what are you seeing forward, you know, as a producer in 2024?
Yeah, I think it's been a phenomenal year. We've had, I think now it's so nice to think that we are losing count of how many films have crossed 500 crores, right?
I know, right?
So, I mean, and then there's Donkey running in theaters. Hopefully that should do the same magic. So I guess, you know, with a great year comes the expectation of an even greater year. Because that's how we all like to see life, right? We like to see it, you know, sort of rising upwards. So I have a feeling with, you know, action genre doing well. Action has actually, over the years, has always performed really well.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of creates that momentum of going to theatre. It's an experience,
yeah,
right? And action gives you a much larger experience. You know, you're seeing these cars blow up, you're seing guns flying, you're seeing great sound, you know, you're seeing great music, background score.
Yeah.
So it's something that you go to the theatre and you say, मजा आ गया, you know. Because वो headphone लगा के या घर के TV पे आप action film देखते हो वो feel ही नहीं आती, you know. Whereas a drama, so I guess that's why action films are kind of trending more. But oh my God, has done so well. 12th Fail has done so well, you know. So it's really boiling down to, you know, making good films, which has always been the case actually, you know. Just because 4 or 5 action films have done well, we start believing, well, there is a reason for it. But I feel we make a good film. I mean, my dad always told me this. He said release date, this, that, wo sab aap, you know, these are all post-mortems to eventually knowing that you probably didn't make a product, you know, you didn't make a film that connected with the audiences. Now, you can have 100 excuses around it, but if you made a good film, you'll always get an audience for it, you know. So, I mean, that's my hope as a producer also, you know, with everything we're producing, to just make sure we make good films. Wo hit, super hit, not a hit, I mean, these are things that really are not in your control, you know, you want to do your best, so yeah.
So this year, tell me what was like, you know, that shining baby of yours that you felt like, this made me happy in 2023. Other than Scoop, wo to acting tha na, production side se.
Oh, I mean, we've done quite a few films. You know, there's only one that's come out. The teaser has come out. I think, you know, we went to the Talent Film Festival. We're going to Palm Springs. This is for a film called Mrs. that we've produced with Sania Malhotra, and Aarti Kadav has directed it. So that one is something I'm very excited about. We've also finished about 5-6 other films in the production house and a few in the pipeline, but I will talk about them when the time comes.
So that's like your 2024.
It's an exciting.
That you're already talking about ki ho jayega.
2024 is super exciting.
But that's fab. I think 2023 probably just set the precedence right for you for like 2024 to be there. Harman, something that I really want to ask you is that has there ever been a moment in your life where some sort of critique or some sort of negative opinion made about you, whether it was the films that you've produced, the work that you've done, really affected with your sense of self, that it kind of shook you, and, you know, then how do you kind of like come back with it? I don't want to know what people said. What I want to know is that how did you sort of cope with that to bounce back?
I'll be honest, initially it was very difficult. I don't think it took me a day or 5 days or a week. You know, certain things stick with you in your head. They just, I would say, you may not think about it every day, goes without saying, because life moves on. But what eventually happens is it's impacted you in a way that your confidence is hurt. You know, your morals are down. You know, and then that affects everything else that you are doing. While you're not constantly thinking of what actually happened to you, but you realize you're not 100%. You're not yourself. You walk into a meeting, you may be a little conscious because of what was said. You may be low on confidence because of what was, you know, written. So I think those are the challenges, you know, that I have faced in the past. I keep mentioning that I think as you grow older, I think you have to learn to kind of not let things that don't really govern your life, which I call my inner circle, which is my work, my closest friends, my family, my wife, my kids, my parents, my sister. I think beyond that, nothing should really affect me anymore. And I'm kind of working towards that, you know, because eventually that's what matters to me in my life, and that's what I'm doing it for, you know. Yes, you're going to make films, you are going to make few people happy, and you're going to not make a few people happy, and that's part and parcel of the business we are in. So you've got to sort of learn from that and just improve so that the ratio keeps increasing with every film you do. So more people like it than not. But that's an ongoing process, you know. So that's it. Yeah.
You know, recently there's been a lot of talk about the fact that more good script writers should float in the industry.
Yeah.
The reason that the number has changed and there are more new people also accepted is why we're also seeing great content across. I want to know what's your take on that, and how do you sort of, you know, have people roped in your sort of films that you're producing?
See, when it comes to scripts, I strongly believe it's the mitochondria of a cell. Yeah. It's the spine of your body, right? You know, it's the epicenter of everything. Personally, as myself and in my company at Baweja Studios, we actually spend the majority of our time, and I would say money, on pure development, right? So we have various different writers from various different genres, you know, from writers who are absolute veterans in the business, to writers that you know, probably walked into Bombay, you know, dropping an engineering job a year ago because they felt they could write, and you know, we started interacting with them, and then we say, okay, yes, with a little bit of guidance, you know, a little bit of, because they come up with ideas, they're thinking out of the box, you know. Unfortunately, for people who are consistently doing this, you have a certain set way of thinking. You know, if I'm driving every day from here to Juhu, I have a very fixed way of driving my car and going, which I believe is the right way. You know, but I get a new kid on the block who's exploring Mumbai city. He may just take it in a way which I may just say, wait, I never thought I could actually go around here, or I knew about this, but I didn't explore it. So I think, you know, what we do internally is we constantly create a mix. So every time we finish a script, or we're in the story draft, or we're in the beat sheet draft, we take it from one writer, then we get a pool of other writers that we are working with, and then we kind of do a reading with all of them, and then take their all collective feedback and then iterate it and improve it. So almost like creating a soft writer's room within the company to just make sure that, you know, the kind of content we create is hopefully good.
Fab. Will 2024 get Harman Baweja to come on social media?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
See, he's not coming. You know, every time, because I'm just like, okay, great. I've understood. I've met you 3 times.
Yeah.
I know you're this person. But don't you feel social media is also the need of the hour right now?
Listen, I genuinely, I mean this, I think it's very tough. I am very, you know, I don't know how some other people can do it. How do they balance? Because it takes a lot, you know, to get that one right photograph. You know, it could be, you know, the thing is, you're going for a nice lunch and you spend 15 minutes getting the right picture, and then 15 minutes thinking of the right caption, and then 15 minutes later you're looking at your phone to say how many likes and what comments have you got. So effectively you don't even remember what you ate, whom you ate with, and what you did. Now there are people who can balance that. They can do this in a minute and they'll enjoy their lunch. I know I can't, you know, and I would much rather just stay a little more quiet, stay a little more, you know, like I told you, in my inner circle, and you know, just focus on my work and family and friends, and I'm very happy in that. So I just thought, like, social media, I feel is like
too much in your space.
Just putting yourself out there, you know, yeah.
But don't you ever feel like that itching nerve ki, like, I want to put out my opinion somewhere, or you're just like, it's okay?
No. So that's one of the reasons I don't want to be on social media.
Because you'll be too opinionated.
Yeah. So I'd rather hold myself back and have those conversations. You know, you know, when you're sitting for a dinner or evening, or in the office, you're standing with the team. Yeah, I will talk about, you know, I think more than opinionated. You know what? For me, it's always about, I love to hear the people's point of views. Like for me, I enjoy watching debates. You know, I really enjoy that. I love watching these new things right now that people are doing vlogs where they go on streets and they ask people, and it's not just random pranks, it's serious conversations, you know, with just people walking by and how these guys are engaging it. I've seen a bunch of them, I think, happening in New York, some in Bombay. And it's great to understand what people think, because we all, like everyone in this room, can talk about the exact same thing and have 4 absolutely different perspectives.
So true.
And we believe that all of us are right in our perspective and our reasoning is right. So for me, it's more about a discussion. And I just feel like, I don't know when is the last time I saw social media having a discussion, you know, for me, you know. So, but then they'll never say never, you know. I mean, it is an exciting place, you know, it's great
we
to
might
connect.
Just put some pressure, and then you might just come.
And then they'll play this clip again when I'll be on social media and say, "Bade style se bol raha tha, nahi aayega, aa gaya."
But why not? It's okay. It's good to have another person.
Well,
back.
we all change, we all evolve.
Absolutely.
This is who I am today.
Yeah.
This is not who I was maybe 2 years ago, and most likely what I will not be 2 years from now. So be it. Yeah.
Okay, tell me something. Now in 2024, maybe too soon to ask, but I'm sure thoda sa plan you must have made in your head. What would stimulate you as an actor to say yes to a project now?
I think couple of things. I think, the filmmaker, and how he's looking at the world that he's creating. I mean, the given is the story, what the world is, does that appeal? I mean, those are givens, right? That's like the base, But yeah, I think over and above that, the director, and I think, I like complex characters, but थोड़ा मुझे मजा आता है. थोड़ा कुछ,
like the grey, deeper shades. Yeah, that's fun to watch also.
Yeah, whatever, grey हो, purple हो, green हो, any shade.
क्योंकि आजकल किसी को black and white पसंद ही नहीं आ रहा है.
Because होता ही नहीं है ना.
हाँ, that's true.
Real life में कोई black and white है ही नहीं. So eventually I think we are also evolving, as cinema to know that black and white, which is why मजा नहीं आता, because ये unrealistic है. क्योंकि ना ही कोई इतना दूध का धुला होता है, ना ही कोई इतना ही कमीना होता है कि he is outrightly wrong at everything he does.
Correct.
There is some emotion, some reasoning, some play, and I think that's what makes for fun characters. So long as I get that, I'll be more than happy to jump onto something. Yeah.
Actors को ये हमेशा पूछते हैं कि like, did this one call you for a particular role? Did you audition? Blah blah blah. As a producer, do you also get calls from actors saying कि cast कर लो?
I don't think it's as देखो थोड़े बहुत आते हैं.
But that's not bad, right? I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, it's so funny. I was having this conversation last night with a cousin of mine who's also, actor, and I was telling him the same thing. I said, काम मांगने में, you should never feel, because you are asking for, what you think you deserve.
Absolutely.
And you're asking for it, and if the person feels you're right, he's on. If you're not, it's not. They're not rejecting. A problem with an actor, I believe, is you are the product. I could have made this phone and I could have offered it, and you said, "No, I don't like the phone, yaar. मेरे को ये थोड़ा बड़ा लग रहा है." Yes, you've created it. It doesn't hurt as much because you created the phone. You're like, ठीक है, इसको बड़ा लग रहा है, दूसरों को शायद सही लगेगा, But when it comes to an actor, then it's like somewhere we take it personally, right? That you're rejecting me, But actually, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the job that you do. The actor that you are, the way you look, the part they want you to play, and that's why you're not probably getting the part. And it's hard. बोलना theory बहुत easy है, but in reality you are facing it, right? Because you are. So it is a challenge, I think, to kind of go through that up and down. But yeah, I mean, listen, if there is something tomorrow which I feel I can do, or I should do, or I would do justice to, I would have no qualms in picking up the phone and calling up the director or the producer or the writer, whoever's behind it, saying, buddy, I'd love to have a look at this, and if you think I'm worthy of it, I'd love to do it. What's the worst? मना ही करेगा. वो नहीं पूछूंगा तो फिर भी मना ही कर रहा है. It's a no either way.
So you're also okay if somebody else is calling like that because you understand that psyche?
Of course, because I would
fab
do it
that way. And I'll tell you why, because I'm sort of on this agenda to break this narrative. All the younger people who I talk to, who've just started off in their career, they are absolutely fine doing that. Over time, what I've seen is that even in the whole last year when I've spoken to actors, they said, you know what, we must have done X, Y, Z, that's our past body of work.
Right.
But it's great to approach for more, and I feel more that narrative changes, probably we'll have more actors coming in as well, which is a great thing.
No, and there's incredible amount of talent. And there is so much talent sometimes. While you're producing, you get auditions, and I'm telling you lately, it's just been like, ये भी अच्छा है, नहीं पर इसका ये वाला अच्छा था. But he's fitting the part better. And then after a point, you're sitting there and saying, how are we supposed to take this call? But so which is great. You go back 5-7 years, and you had a role, and you're like, किसको लें? ये 4-5 ही actors हैं, पर उसकी date नहीं है, ये available नहीं है, ये ऐसे है, how do we do it? उसने मना कर दिया. So now where do we go? Now you know that there is the great pool of actors, and सभी दिग्गज हैं. So which is great.
Okay. One thing I want your point of view on is this, that recently the films I've seen that there are a lot of social media influencers who are also getting casted as actors. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Great if they come with maybe some skill sets. Bad if somebody who's more talented probably doesn't have that kind of following gets casted for a role. I want to know what's your honest opinion on something like this.
See, you got to understand, we're in the business of making movies, right? It's called a film industry. Anything that's governed by business, anything that's governed by industry is governed by economics.
True.
So when you're talking about a role, right, and you're saying a social media influencer, there is talent there. I believe it's not easy to be a social media. I mean, forget I believe. I think I'm pretty sure it's very difficult to be a credible social media influencer. That part of the market is actually oversaturated.
Yeah, true.
Because I can be an influencer. You can be one. He can be one. She can be one. My dude who's probably right now cooking something could be one.
So true.
So everyone is competing for the same amount of space. अब हम लोग ही उतने हैं ना. हम eventually we are going to pick and choose, right?
Correct.
So and curation of content is pretty much free. You need a phone, you need a video, and you need some crazy skill set. So I think they've earned it if they've reached there. You know, that's their way of working towards it.
Maybe.
Somebody else gets in because they're extremely nice looking and they maintain themselves. Somebody gets in because they have a great skill set of dancing. Somebody gets in purely because they're great actors. Now, it purely depends on what the role demands.
Okay.
If I need a great actor for a part, the likelihood of it being cast by a great actor is very, very, very high. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah, sorry about the cat.
We're fine with that.
Yeah. We fostered these cats during COVID.
Wow.
Kind of littered right outside our house. So then, now we've become a cat home.
Lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel everyone gets eventually.
The part that they sort of. और उसमें luck कितना important होता है?
यार मेरे हिसाब से सच बोलूँ तो पहले मुझे लगता था कि luck is almost unimportant. Yeah. But today I would say there is luck. There is no question about it. Yeah. The beauty about luck, I believe, is it's lurking around you. It's around.
Yeah.
There's good luck around you. It's around me. It's around everyone, right? Now, when that good luck decides to just come and say, "Okay, buddy, I'm here. This is your opportunity." I believe the difference is that when it shows up, I have to be ready.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I have to be supremely ready to say, "Okay, you gave me that chance. I was 100% on point. Boom, I'm in. I've scored and I've made it." Right? I think the stress in life, the challenge for all of us, is how long can you keep working hard and hoping for that moment to arise, right? And eventually there is a sense of fatigue, there's a sense of frustration, there's a sense of why me, you know, and we all go through it, you know. And I think that's the balance, you know, which is why I think believing in discipline, consistently going after something, hoga, you know. अब we can aspire to think कि यार मुझे अगर मिला तो मैं इतनी मेहनत करूँ तो मुझे ना 100 मिलना चाहिए, तो भाई शायद आपको ना 25 मिले, but आपको बाकी जिंदगी में शायद 150 मिल रहा है.
Correct.
You know, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your friends, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your mental well-being, maybe you are 110 there.
Yeah.
And maybe you're a 30 here, because we're, unfortunately, the way it's been designed for all of us is to constantly think that work defines you.
Yeah.
You know, how successful you are defines who you are.
Yeah.
You know, whereas we're supposed to work 40 to 50 hours a week. But in a week, there is so much more, you know. So there is a good 100 hours, dude. So that's 30 to 40% of your life. There's so much more to us.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's how we are designed to think, you know. So for me, I've kind of switched that mindset, you know. Yes, I work. When I work like a beast, right? For those 8-10 hours I'm in office, I'm possessed, right? But when I'm out of there and I'm with my family, I try to give it my all. So it's जहाँ जो block में कर रहे हो उसको 100% दे दो. फिर बाकी ये आएगी कभी ना कभी. किस्मत सामने आके खड़ी आएगी, जिस दिन आएगी आप तैयार होने चाहिए बस.
Done. You know, why I also asked you that social media question is because lines are blurring between TV and cinema, and then of course OTT and cinema, which is great.
Yeah.
So even if the lines blur here, I don't see it as a problem. I just wanted to know as a producer what was your point of view, and I feel we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all talent.
True.
Sub
So
talent.
wherever there is talent, there's good work.
Correct.
Maybe a little bit of luck floating
Of
also.
course.
We're all doing the right thing at the right time. On a parting note, Harman, I want to take you back through your entire filmography and tell me if there is one particular thing that you feel you could have slightly done differently. What would that be?
So, you know, I'll be honest with you, and I know it sounds very like boring, philosophical,
I'm cool
garbage.
with it. No, not
But
garbage.
I'm very happy where I am.
Okay,
You
fine.
know, so I would not want to change anything in the past which would change where I am today. But having said that, if I could change something which would not change my reality today, so that today remains the same, I think I would try to be much more. I would like to take my defeats, you know, the films that didn't do well, the harsh criticism, you know, trying to use that and channelize that to a slightly more positive aspect. I think at that point for me, I was very negative in my thought process, in my energy, you know. So I wish I could have maybe looked at it a little more positively and you know kind of worked towards that. But like I'm saying, शायद वो करता शायद और खराब होता.
Yeah, you never know.
शायद ये
Actually.
break अच्छी थी and I am here, so I wouldn't change it. But yeah, I would learn from it that if I face that today, I know how to tackle it versus that time.
So it's just probably the experience and the understanding, which I guess you rightly said in the start of the interview, comes as you're sort of passing and growing in life.
Yes.
Harman, always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
I feel I eat up most of your time with these interviews, but it's so good to know your point of view and to hear you every single time. Wishing you all the very best for 2024. You've already killed it in 2023, but now let's watch you more and then produce more and then speak when you talk to us again.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lovely speaking.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.